it official and get the party started. So welcome back to Cantina Live. We're here to discuss the first couple episodes of Ahsoka, but this is, of course, the Chewie's Cantina, where we love to collect things. So any updates from toy hunts or purchases or orders that came in that you guys want to share? A little show and tell time before we get to Ahsoka.
I've been busy with a lot of pickup stuff, man.
A lot of pickup stuff.
I'm getting ready to do a couple shows here coming up. So
okay, all right.
Yeah, we have. There's a big show in Toledo.
Yeah.
That Chuck and I are gonna do, and then there's one in Jackson we typically do in Kalamazoo. So
nice. Well, good deal. So you've been picking up all kinds of stuff for the shows coming up, man. So you increase inventory.
Oh yeah, inventory and collection itself. Like I don't know. I've picked up a few last 17 recently, and just a lot of different stuff. So
high stuff. Well, what's that? Someone's joining us from their illustrious study.
Hey,
Reverend Steve Glosson, ladies and gentlemen, is shown up in the Zoom room here. So he's chiming in while he's doing some studying and doing some minister stuff. So we're looking forward to hearing from him too. So. Anybody else? Anything added to the collection? I know Mark's got something he's going to show later, but we're going to put that off. I'm pretty excited about that. I got a little preview of it. Anything? Anybody? I will show you. I've kind of got into this. Me and my youngest Elijah, and as part of our giveaway tonight is this new Star Wars Rivals thing. I mean, they're kind of a fun little deal, little game. Honestly, I love the artwork on the cards more than anything.
Yeah.
Luke's he's kind of a little bit of the cheesier side of things, but then Vader's got it going on. But we just got started in that, and we've enjoyed it. So that's kind of why the giveaway is what it is tonight. These cards are really cool. And I think they're in this kind of a blind box situation, as far as the add-ons, whereas the set itself, this right here, what we're going to be giving away here in a moment. You see what you're getting kind of there. So I will confess, cool. I had to watch a couple of YouTube videos so this old guy could figure out how to play. So of course Elijah, my youngest, picked it up like it was nobody's business. So I was like, say what? What does it say? Dad, just
using the tools that we can gain using YouTube.
Yeah. Oh man, I could do anything. I've done all kinds of work on a swimming pool, cars, you name it. I look like I'm an expert. If people only knew me, Steve knows that I'm not an expert at anything. So
you are an expert at everything you put your hands to.
Oh, that's so precious. I just got to put my hands to things to work on. I'm just lazy though.
I can't tell. Can I be heard? I didn't know if I could be heard or not.
Now you can. You can be heard.
Okay, great.
Be heard. Perfect. Anything else as far as collection stuff you guys want to share before we kind of do our giveaway and get to the real meat of Ahsoka? Thor says he's going to be back. He's going to go get some, I guess. So
they had the Plastic City Comic Con last weekend, and we always love going to that one. But I did score a few. I knocked a few more gold key Scooby Doo.
Oh, nice!
Looking for. I'm always looking for those gold keys, trying to complete that collection. But I know there's probably not a lot. Doesn't seem to be a lot of comic book guys in our group, so I don't talk about it too much, but I'm always after trying to finish
Mark is and Steve, they are, man. They're big time comic book guys. So they're hearing you.
I'm a Scooby-Doo. Come here.
Oh, you got Scooby-Doo coming in on the side on you? Scooby-Doo, where are you? He came in. So all right, let me close out. Somebody got some notifications. Somebody sent me a mail. They thought it was important.
There he is.
Thor had something he was showing off to us, but we didn't.
That's a real thing, huh?
Yep. It's a geez.
It's like one of 100, I think, or 120 or something like that. Diamond Select.
Oh, Diamond Select, nice.
But that's a beast.
All right. Well, let's get to our giveaway so we get to Ahsoka. What we're gonna do, guys, so you can end up with this at your house. Maybe Steve will win, so I don't have to pay for shipping. But and he and I can play. No, I mean this won't be rigged at all. I promise. So,
I don't need anything else.
Oh, that's fair. So
who does? It's not whether you need it or not,
Yeah, I feel you.
All right. So what I've done here, and this is just I was trying to decide this afternoon how I was going to decide this, but decide. This is Star Wars Uno cards. You guys know how well I am with my games. Steve's probably thinking I should have talked to him first. So I'm just using them for the characters on them. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to ask you to choose a character, Star Wars character. And if I draw that character out of this deck, you win. Simply that. So it's not too complex of a game. So we'll start with our Facebook crew. If you guys heard that, go ahead and pick a character. Sarah's over there. Jay, your wife has a Scooby-Doo hunter at Comic-Con because she's awesome. So,
Oh,
right.
she was going up to every table talking about where's the gold key Scooby-Doo. She had my boy doing it.
Sarah chose Ray. All right. So what about it, Mark? Who you choosing?
Go Yoda.
Yoda for Mark. What about it, Bill? Who you going with?
R2D2.
R2. I knew that was coming, Bill. All right, Jay, what you got? Who you choosing?
I'm gonna go with Boba Fett.
Boba Fett. Okay. Jay's going Boba Fett. All right, Thor, who you choosing here?
I'll go Anakin Skywalker.
All right, Anakin. All right, Steve, who you choosing?
Dexter Jetster.
Oh, I don't know if he's on the card, but it's worth a choice.
Why wouldn't he be?
He didn't
Greatest
make
Star Wars
the Uno deck. He didn't make the Uno deck. So but we'll record it just for the sake. RJ, we're choosing Star Wars characters to see if you can win the new Star Wars Rivals. It's so much fun. You won't be able to contain it in a box. So you have to open it. Anybody in particular? Let's see. What's been chosen so far is Rey, Yoda, R2, Boba Fett, Anakin, Dexter Gesture, Chewbacca. Ricardo chose Chewbacca, and Manuel chose Darth Maul. So from that list there, who do you want to choose, RJ?
Choose somebody off the list?
No, choose somebody that's not on that list. I'm sorry. I'm a terrible communicator.
Sorry, RJ. I picked R2.
I was thinking the same thing as soon as I saw.
Let's go
RJ.
with Solo. Let's go with Han Solo.
All right. All right. Let me check the Facebook side one last time, see if we've got any more entries. It looks like negative. All right. Gonna draw the card here. Now, granted, the Uno stuff has nothing to do with it. It's just to help give us the characters. All right. So don't get upset if you get a draw 4. All right. From the deck. It's Boba Fett. It also means skip you, so it goes to the person on the right of Jay. No, I'm just playing. Jay said it, Boba Fett. So we'll be sending it to your house, Jay. I'm sure you and the boys will love it if you guys haven't played it yet. So,
Well, I knew Fate was going to send it to me the second you said you have to open it, because that's my thing.
That's exactly what I thought. I said, you got to open it. Well, Jay might as well win it.
Yes.
Jay opens it.
brother, I'm going to warn you, the boys are going to want to buy so many of those, not even funny. So get ready. Who am I kidding? You're going to want to buy them.
Yeah.
Let's dive into the Ahsoka series. I know as we were talking a little bit earlier, we were so excited that moved it to Tuesday, gave us a little more time to watch, especially with 2 episodes, digest it a little bit, and then come on here and have some fun, sling some stuff around. I think it was Mark commented a day or so ago about all the different breakdown shows stealing from each other and trying to be original and all that stuff. So I said, well, I got to watch 3 more, so I have something to say. So I think I'm okay. I think we're going to have fun. We've got some great minds in the room. So I want to kind of do it methodically. And I know Jay's like surprised that I have an agenda going into this, but we do. But first, I want to talk about, as we watch both of those episodes, what are some of those things that you noticed that connected it, is that the right word? Connected it to the other Star Wars media we've seen, whether we're thinking, obviously, original trilogy, we're thinking prequel, sequel, even the animated stuff. We won't get into the characters yet. We'll do that in a moment. But some of those scenes that were like, man, that took me back to this or whatever. So feel free. Who wants to chime in? I know there's obviously the music. Okay, yeah.
It's Star Wars, but it's got a different twist to it. It's more modern. It's a little different, but it's still, you can feel and hear. You can hear it all. You can hear stuff from. I mean, from the prequels to the original, all of it.
Okay. Yeah.
Kind of like Mandalorian. It's got a Wild West kind of Star Wars feel to it, but this is more of a throwback. It's got the underlayings of the original music with the new stuff on top, it feels like.
Okay. Sweet. All right.
I literally just got done watching the second episode, then like, let me grab the iPad to meet everybody.
Well, and I'm glad you said that. Let me stop right there and we'll come back to this. How many of you have seen the episodes more than once, or everybody just one viewing, or anybody 2 or 3 or 12? All right, Bill's sitting at 2. I'm sitting at 2 each.
Yeah, just once. Just one.
Once.
Yeah.
Yeah. I guess you and I are slackers, Bill. We have time to do things like that.
No, well, hey, we only work on Wednesdays and Sundays.
That's true. That's true. That's fair. So, I'll have to confess, I watch both of them regular, and then watch the others on subtitles and audio description as well. so I can hear it all, take it all in. All right, we're back on track. So RJ says the music was awesome to hear. We're talking connectivity, and welcome, Dan. So we're talking connectivity to the greater Star Wars universe. What are some other things you guys may have noticed that was like, man, that's a callback to this or whatever?
The painting obviously has to be one right back to Rebels, but more importantly, I think Sabine.
Okay.
Man, she's putting that character right to how Sabine was.
All right.
Very, very went against the grain on everything. Like has her own way of doing something, and that's like I don't care what anybody else thinks. I really like that they brought that back, especially enlightening that in the first episode.
Okay. Yeah.
Yeah, you're definitely right with that one, Thor. It was spot on with Sabine, but I mean, it did carry right over from Rebels, just like
Yeah.
Filoni said that it might do, which I was really hoping for because I liked it. Sometimes I did find Sabine to be kind of a spoiled brat type.
Right.
Oh, but yeah, it stuck right with it, and she was still lovable. I mean, she was always looking for the right thing or whatever. It did. I don't know if you guys noticed, but to me, it seemed like there was a little bit lost on the relationship between Hera and Sabine, though.
Yeah.
I don't know what they were so. I remember watching it, and I'm thinking to myself, man, they were so close. They lived together for so long, and now they just casually are like, "Hey, what's up, General?"
Yeah.
I
Outside
think
of the hospital scene, I would agree. The hospital scene, you kind of a little bit closer. Yeah. As far as, as we think about, because there's a ton of character stuff that we could dive into, and we'll try to tackle some of that. But what about the way it opens up? You got these 2 supposed Jedi showing up. Anybody taken back to a little Phantom Menace action there?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
It took me to Laura Croft, man. It was like some Tomb Raider stuff,
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Yeah, that's a little out of my repertoire. So I'm like, I trust you on that. Steve, what do you fix to say?
Well, when you mentioned the 2 Jedi showing up, Ray Stevenson and the girl there, when they say something about a Jedi, he says, "We're no Jedi."
Yeah.
And line straight from Ahsoka herself.
Mm-hmm.
In the Clone Wars, after she had stepped away and had a whole deal. She either said it in Rebels or Clone Wars 1, but it was like a big moment where like, I am no Jedi.
Right.
And so obviously that's that Filoni connection going on. Just simple things, simple as the communicator that she saw, that she pulled out to see Ezra on the little data circular thing that has the hologram of Ezra saying goodbye. That was kind of my thing, especially with the first episode. With Filoni directing, like he set the tone to look infinitely more like Star Wars than some of these shows have since maybe the first episode or 2 of Mandalorian.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. And so you can kind of tell the limitations of the volume, that are there still, that they're still trying to work out some of the kinks and everything. But by and large, man, just being back on the thaw in live action, Clancy Brown, you
Oh,
know,
dude,
so
what is
much-
That's what I
that
was going to
voice?
say. That was my favorite moment when he was
Mine
the
too.
governor.
Yeah.
I love that.
I was like, they kept Mr. Krabs.
Yep.
well, I mean, so now he's been in, he voiced that character in Rebels, and now he's played that character live action in Rebels, and now he's been also in Mandalorian. Remember, as one of the
Oh,
crew in the first episode.
Yeah,
with all the
Bird or whatever.
yeah.
Now, wasn't he
So-
the voice of Savage Opress too?
Yeah,
He
that
was.
too.
Yeah, he was.
Wow, see, he's quite
Yeah.
a resume.
Hey, he steps right out from the world between worlds into wherever you want him, man. That's
Yeah.
his deal.
Oh, don't get too
So-
far ahead, Steve. Come on,
Sorry,
on
sorry.
the roll.
Run. I just saw you guys doing this. I want to jump off quick and say hey. And also, I'm really ticked that there's no Dexter Jetster in that stupid Uno card set. So
Hey, man, we'll find some at Ollie's and we'll add it to it. So, oh, but yeah, I
there
mean,
you
yeah.
go, man. Look, you guys, y'all have a great night.
All right, thanks, Steve. We'll see you,
See
brother.
you, Steve.
Nice to see you, buddy.
Yeah, I'm with Steve there. Just kind of the right out of the gate, that first episode. So much it's called. I mean, well, like when we are on Lothal and she's on the speeder taking off and she gets away, and then you see the probe droid watching, and then you see that probe droid come to, was it Shin Hati, or is that her name, the Padawan? And you obviously, I mean, it was like a softball. You had to be taken back to Darth Maul.
Yeah.
Tatooine when he gets that probe droid. So I was just like, oh yeah, I see what you're doing, Filoni. I see it.
Yeah.
It sounded the same as Maul's.
It
Yeah, I was
did.
going to say
Yeah.
the sound effects were a duplicate of that, I thought.
I just wish it would have been a black little droid. That would have
Yeah.
been perfect. So, but yeah, there's so many different things, from the corridor at the beginning of that first episode when Balin Skull's going through there, whether that takes you back to, A New
Rogue
Hope, or
One.
that takes you back to Rogue One, or wherever it takes you. So,
So this is the night. So the other piece to this, the Night Sister,
yeah.
tying the Night Sister in with this, and how they got the map. So I'm like trying to compartmentalize some of that with Cal Kestis and
Oh,
how so he was highly involved with the Night Sister stuff. So I'm kind of curious to see if we may see something in there like that. But
Yeah. See, I'm a little jealous of you guys and gals that have played all those games. I started but didn't get very far. So I'm sure you're seeing all kinds of stuff that's, I guess, the plus of all the media is out there. You got so much to tie in and pull in together. So, I know there's so much that we've seen, so much more that we'll see as the series unfolds. But let's talk, and Thor kind of took us there, and Jay as well. Let's talk a little bit about character transition to live action. I'm hearing you guys say, and I agree, the Sabine transition was spot on. I mean, I really was impressed about that actress and what she's done so far. What did you guys think about? I mean, what we already talked about, and Jay said it, but what about Hera and how she's portrayed and how she looks and everything? What are you thinking there?
My initial thought was, where's her son?
Okay, yeah, maybe.
And
Hopefully,
I
we'll see
wondered
her.
that too.
And why isn't Zeb there? You know what I mean? Like, I really wanted to see the whole band back together.
Right.
But
Well, Zeb's with the other bunch out there playing with the Mandalorian.
That's true. Yeah,
yeah.
he's throwing a few back with Dave Filoni at the bar.
Yeah.
Right.
So, yeah, I have to confess, Hera, from the practical effects, her character kind of throws me out of it a little bit.
Yeah.
It's not. I mean, I know it's fantasy.
Made it
Hey guys, I know this isn't real life, but
In Rebels, she's very she's like a Spitfire, She was a little more tame, I think, in the show than the actual Hera is. Aesthetically, I think she looked good, looked the part of Hera, but seemed like a different, more reserved, laid back Hera that wasn't really the kind of crazy feral Hera that I'm used to in Rebels.
except for when she was talking to Chopper, trying to find that tracking beacon.
Oh yeah,
That's another thing. Not enough.
And if
Chopper.
you
There
listen,
could've
you
been a
can
little more
understand what
Chopper.
Chopper's saying.
dude, I thought they did a great job with him.
Yeah. That was
He
great.
He
gave
was
the old,
upset.
Yes.
gave the old F that. You know what I mean? It's like,
Right.
I'm not-
Like,
He did it
whoa.
Wow. So who knows, man, what's going to get with him? But yeah, I was impressed. I thought that transition was spot on and better than we see in the animated. But yeah, as far as Hera, it takes me out of it a little bit every time she shows up on the screen, just being real.
Yeah.
been on RJ's thing. I honestly felt like I thought to myself, I've been watching Star Wars so long. I actually understand astromechs now, you know?
I rewound it twice to listen. I'm like, did I hear that right? And you can hear him when he says, "Where's my whatever?" And did you look under the spare battery? And he's like, "Oh crap." And he shuffles it. It's like, "Oh, found it."
Oh, I got it.
Yeah, it'd be good to see how it unfolds with him and just everybody. And of course, Ahsoka, we've kind of been introduced to her, obviously, within Mandalorian, within the Book of Boba Fett, and Rosario Dawson's doing a good job with that. Obviously, there's something that's unfolding in her character with the relationship there with Sabine and all that. So, we'll see where that goes. So we run into episode 1, Master and Apprentice. So let's, as we kind of work through this, let's try to keep it's hard not to go to episode 2 that we've already seen, but let's try to kind of focus our energy, if you will, on Master and Apprentice. I really feel like throughout the episode, there's a big contrast that's happening between with Baylan Skoll and Shin Hati, and then versus Ahsoka and Sabine, and just where they are, what's happened, and all that stuff. But from that first episode, what are some standout moments or questions or thoughts you guys have that you've just been sitting on waiting to get to this so you could talk about it? Theories, whatever. Now, if it's overarching with both of them, wait until we start talking second one. It's like, thanks for putting me in a box. I appreciate that. So.
I just like Balin's presence.
Yeah.
I mean, he just, unlike Gideon, he wasn't a lot of talk. He just was there, a big presence, like Vader.
Yeah.
You know, he was just menacing, and he was just, okay, we'll just do this. You know, That was it. It wasn't a big grand speech or anything like that. It was just, okay, this is what we need to get done. Let's do it.
Yeah.
You know,
Something I liked about it is I guess he was Jedi, and that was his apprentice. Got away, but he didn't want to kill anyone on that vessel when he first landed. He wanted to go and get her and leave. And I won't mention anything that kind of follows up with that about the second episode, because Lucas and stringent rules about our agenda. but I like the fact that he may not be as purely evil as some of the evil guys on Star Wars. You know what I mean? Like, there could be some redemption for that guy.
Yeah.
But hey, when somebody calls you overconfident Imperial trash, you're going to get upset. You know what I'm saying?
I mean, what is that guy thinking? He's like, oh, these guys are Imperial spies. I know that, so I'm going to invite them in. Like, I don't understand any of that. Sometimes I'm just like, Obi-Wan twice could have easily killed Darth Vader, but passed on it both times. This dude's like,
here we go. Jay's on his soapbox again.
So I'm going to bring them into my ship and then insult them from 1 foot away instead of just shoot their ship.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, it's like, I'm going to take, he was a little pompous himself, a little headstrong, but he didn't survive his lightsaber wound. So
No, not a major player, so you don't get to live through it.
That's right. That's right.
He was the red shirt on the away team.
Yeah.
Yeah. The whole stabbing of Sabine kind of surprised me. I didn't see that coming. I thought,
I didn't either.
I think she was going to win, but I didn't think she was going to take one right through the chest, you know?
Yeah. And I know, in different podcasts and all kinds of things, people have talked about it over and over again, but that's kind of like the thing with the new Star Wars. Somebody's going to get stabbed with a lightsaber and survive, it seems like.
It's
like,
automatically cauterized, right?
Yeah, well, I guess that's what they're thinking.
That should have been a big hole in her then.
Yeah,
right?
But is that not, though, the same way that Qui-Gon died?
yep.
Pretty
But if you watch it, it goes under her left
Like her rib.
right breast.
Okay.
But and I think that they show the wound on purpose as an explanation
Yeah,
because
I
it's
agree.
much lower and to the side. So it's like maybe got a gallbladder.
Only
You
a
know?
Yeah, I might have a GI issue or something like that. Maybe she's
Right.
got to
Yeah.
Right.
every 1 year
Yeah.
or something. You know?
Or maybe it's
Uh,
fixed the issue she already had. Who knows?
I was just in there thinking, I was just like, why is this happening again? It's just like
I was
you
like,
saw at the very beginning died the same way, but she survives. Qui-Gon dies the same way. She survives, and they make a point to say she's not very strong with the Force, you know.
perhaps
So
it's
I don't know.
the lowest of the low. It sounds like.
Yeah. Which I thought that was funny when he was like, "Yeah,
All right. Yeah.
I've seen many
Why don't-
Force
Why
sensitive
would be
people."
one to kill Qui-Gon? You know what I mean? Yeah, it seems weird that we got all this way through all this Star Wars and only just at Mandalorian do we get to actually healing someone, and it's a little baby that can't even talk.
Right.
You know what I mean? But like
Yeah.
Obi-Wan can't do it, Darth Vader can't do it.
Well,
You
and
know?
it was so interesting, when that did premiere with the Mandalorians you're talking about, Jay, with Grogu or Baby Yoda or whatever we called him at that point. He healed Adonis Creed, out in the wilderness. No, it wasn't Adonis Creed. It was Apollo Creed. Adonis is Creed the movie. See, I got him all confused. Trying to be funny. I don't know what I'm talking about. Well, he heals Creed out in the wilderness, and then you go and see Rise of Skywalker, and then Rey has that ability. So it was kind of like he's setting the table for Rey to be able to do that in the movie. So, but whatever.
He was like, he's gonna eat me. That's what he's.
Because that episode got
let
put
it
up
be.
before the movie, didn't it?
Yeah, it
Yeah.
did.
Yeah.
It dropped like the week the movie was supposed to premiere. So if you
Yeah.
watched it before, you would have seen
Yeah.
the healing before she healed.
Grogu did it first, yeah.
Yeah.
Well, you think about Balin and Shinati, their relationship. I mean, obviously she's hooked on whatever he says. I mean, she's following him. It's like a good Did you guys notice the Jedi braid she had?
Yeah.
The Padawan break. Yep.
She had the Padawan braid.
So now you guys help me, because I know some of you've done a lot more reading and seen more things. Is that usually something that goes with Dark Jedi, or is that more obviously just with your regular Jedi, or does it matter? I guess.
No, Sith don't do that. It's a master. And Sith. They don't do that thing.
Okay. So are they trying to establish a new order? Which I know Jay wanted to go ahead and talk about it, but there's
Wouldn't dream of it. Wouldn't dream of it, Lucas.
No.
The only thing I can think of on it is, like, how else would they know?
Yeah,
How would they know different?
that's true.
Do they know the true way of the Sith? Yeah, he understands, and that's probably why they're so against, or so like forthcoming with trying to unlock the map, right? Or find the map wherever it is. And why they need the Seventh Sister to begin with,
Right.
that was imprisoned by them. So that's my assumption to it, because he did say that it's to unlock a whole power that you'll never even know or understand.
Right. Yeah,
And
there's
that's in that first
different
episode.
agendas in play here between him and his Padawan, and then Morgan. They're on different playing fields right now. So for sure.
The other
Well,
one, she just got bored on the car ride and just braided her hair.
it's like
Yeah.
they just got back from Panama City Beach and went to one of those little braiding stations.
Got back from Myrtle Beach. Got a hermit crab in a case.
Yeah.
Sorry, that was really funny. The hermit crab. Shin Hati and the hermit crab of the Force.
That's what the probe was. It was our hermit crab.
That's it.
Oh, crab.
You guys are gonna laugh if episode 3 is the hermit crab.
Oh man.
Oh man. Speaking of, I guess we need to move past the opening scene. So we see Ahsoka go to what we later find out to be the Night Sister stronghold, looking for that map. She does some wicked lightsaber action and drops down to that subterranean level where that kind of, I guess you could say, puzzle room is. I don't know about you guys, and maybe it's just where my pop culture mind is. When she was in that room figuring all that stuff out, and then this deal appears with the balls out, I was taken back to Fifth Element.
Oh,
Yeah.
Some of you are like, oh, RJ's like, oh,
Yep.
oh, that ain't
I
it.
thought you were going to say Raiders of the Lost Ark or something.
No, Fifth Element, man, with Bruce Willis. Oh, was it Chris Tucker? And those
Yep.
guys? And they're
That
going
was
around.
awesome.
They've got those little things they're trying to figure out, and they're all, you got to put water on one, blow on one, all this stuff. Then my mind went to multipass, you know. Multipass. What? Long story short, they find the orb and they bust out, and then she runs into those assassin droids. Dude, I saw those. I was like, man, I need to get me a Black Series assassin droid. I passed on those earlier. So
I love that it was standing there for like 20 seconds, not completely motionless.
yes. Just standing there like,
That red one was a pretty ominous guy. I liked him.
Yeah, how many did it end up being? Like 5 or 6 that she takes that? Well,
They all went IG-11 on her, and
yeah, the self-destruct mess. So
How did they put that much destructive power in those droids? I mean, that just to wipe out everything.
I don't know. It was like they had some kind of nuclear deal in them. It's crazy.
It takes it that room in that instance. I'm like, oh, she's at a temple, right?
Yeah.
So in Survivor or the Fallen Order, like Cal Kestis, that's what he did. Like he went to different temples
Okay.
to unlock different things to continue to gain information and gain ways of the Force and all that stuff.
Oh, okay.
So
You're
yeah,
definitely taken back there to that then when she dropped in, huh?
yeah, I'm like, oh, okay, this makes sense because like you can see the city itself, right? So I'm like, or what used to be rubble of the city, or really rubble of a temple, and all that's left is just what you see, except for what's underneath.
Hmm.
And what I was expecting more so though was a full like big, like not just a little cylinder that came up, but like a full on like pillar around it and stuff, like some pillars that come up and around it to show that orb.
more
And
like kinetic sand.
Yeah.
yeah.
Stuff would get all over the house.
or a big boulder that chases her out of the temple. That's what I
Yeah,
was
where was that at?
That's where I was at.
When she pulls that orb up, I was watching it with my oldest son and my youngest son, and my oldest son goes, "What is that? The golden snitch from Harry Potter?"
That's a good one.
She got it. Gryffindor wins. So I was like, okay, that was good, son. Good job.
My oldest son said she needed to place a bag of dirt there to replace the weight.
Yes, nice. Raiders of the Lost, another good reference. That's when you know you're raising your kids right. You know.
It was a proud moment. Yeah.
Yes. Before we go on, I've got to ask RJ, what are you putting together, RJ?
Vader helmet.
Oh, I knew you were putting something.
I had a feeling it was going to be a helmet.
I've had it for almost 2 years sitting in the closet, and I was like, well, let's put it together tonight.
Nice.
How many of those do you have now, RJ?
This will be all of the original ones, except for the TIE Pilot, which that thing is gone astronomical in price out there.
Okay.
But I'm out of space. So my son's off to college. I'm thinking about putting a shelf in his room, and when he comes home for Thanksgiving, he's got some Legos in here.
Okay. There you go.
He's 20 years old. He ain't gonna live here much longer.
Well, that being said, I know at our Walmarts, at least, those helmets like the Cody and the clone Rex, the prices are coming down on those. I don't know if they are nationwide or not, but
that's what I'm waiting for. Mine are still sitting at $70.
Yeah, I think these are at our neck of the woods are maybe 55 or so. So
yeah, I'm hoping around Christmas time they'll drop a little bit. I'll get a few for Christmas.
Yeah. All right, we keep rolling. We show up at Lothal. We got the big ceremony. We see the painting, as Thor's already alluded to. We've got Clancy's he's there. He's made the crossover to live action. Sabine's nowhere to be found. She's riding her speeder out of town. And then we get to see, and I don't think we've seen it anywhere before, we get to see E-Wings. Dude, those are some cool ships.
Yeah.
Are they in anything else? I mean, other than books? Or have we seen them live action before?
Not me.
Nah. I was like, man, I got to have one of these for the collection like yesterday, please. So, man,
I
I
have
was
not seen those. I don't even recall seeing them in Clone Wars at all.
right. So that's the first appearance of them, period, in media outside of the books themselves.
Yeah.
So, yeah, I was impressed by those. Of course, then you have the little sliding maneuver. She slides under the one that's parked and all that stuff, just showing how awesome she is. So we get back to where I assume she's living where Ezra lived, right? Is that where we're to gather from that? Okay. Yeah. And she's there. She gets the little hologram thing out, and it's obviously the goodbye message from Ezra. One we saw in the trailer over and over again, and thought Ezra's in this, and he may yet be in it. We'll see. But what are your thoughts about that? Anything spring to mind as you saw Ezra and his little hologram?
Can somebody refresh me what happened to Ezra and Admiral Thrawn at the end of Rebels? Did I miss? I'm forgetting what happened there.
Yeah. So, and you guys correct me if I'm wrong. Last episode, they're trying to get Thrawn and his fleet out of there, and Ezra calls in a favor to the hyperspace whales, the Purgles, and they come and they take them out somewhere unknown in hyperspace. So Ezra's capture is in the mix with Thrawn and that fleet. Is that right, or is there something else to add there, you guys?
Well,
Yes.
the other thing to add is that they were in a very the situation was poor. The glass on the Star Destroyer they were in was all cracking, and it was before the whales showed up. It was like starting to show that maybe they were about to explode or something. But the Star
worth
significant damage, and then they just shot off into hyperspace.
So it leaves
that might be worth a rewatch. Okay.
Yeah.
I'll have to confess, I've done a lot of rewatching since I knew this series was coming out and stuff. But so that leaves it left. Hey, did they survive? Where are they? All that. So that's kind of where we're at.
I'll be disappointed if Ezra's not in it.
Yeah.
If Thrawn is and Ezra didn't make it, I'll be disappointed, I guess.
Yeah. I know Mark's a big proponent that Ezra is that other guy. I was picking at him because a lot of people are saying that Inquisitor-like guy, was it Merrick or something like that, or Marok?
Rock, I think they call him.
Yeah, something like, well, that's Ezra. It's Ezra. I don't think so.
There's a very simple explanation on why it's not.
All right, hit us with it.
If it was Ezra, they wouldn't need a map.
That's true.
He would know how to go back, and if he did turn bad, him and Thrawn would have come back together.
Yep.
I mean,
it's pretty straightforward.
I mean,
It doesn't seem like even if Ezra did get bad, even when he was messing around with the Sith holocron, he still was good with the people he knew. It doesn't seem like he would fight Ahsoka.
Yeah, I agree with that, Jay.
Second episode. My apologies, Lucas.
No, you're fine. Whatever. I'll just block you in the group later. It's okay.
Wow.
No,
Wow.
I can't do that, man. They will miss figure of the day, man. That I'm loving that.
It's fun. It's
Yeah,
fun.
man, you do a great job with that. I'm stoked about that every day I see it. Especially, I love today's the Christmas Snow Trooper.
Yeah.
Those
Regular-
things are
May the Force be with you, or Merry Force. I can't remember what you said at the end. It was awesome. So, my youngest son chimes in when they're showing the hologram deal of Ezra, and he goes, "Man, I hope Ezra isn't in the rest of this." And I was like, "Why you say that?" He goes, "I don't think I could deal with that guy. I don't like the way he looks." I was like, "Okay, all right." So my oldest son is so creative. The other one's like holding grudges against people he's never met. The youngest is. So I'm working on it, guys. I'm working on it. Maybe it's a different parenting. He's like his mother, I guess. I don't know. But so,
I mean, when I first started watching Rebels, right? I didn't really care how it started. But as the story unfolded, like it's just that much more engulfing
Yeah, I agree.
into the story and everything about it that just makes you love it even that much more.
Yeah, I think you're right. I remember because what was the first was a little movie, what Spark of the Rebellion or something, Rebels, and I watched. It, I was like, it's okay. But then as the series got rolling, I was like, man, I mean, that's must see TV. You know, got to tune in,
Yeah.
got to see what's next. And then of course now in the Disney Plus era, you can do whatever you want. So, but yeah, I agree with that completely. So I'll tell him that. I'll remind him, my son, that. Say, but just give it time. Give it
Yeah.
time.
Yeah. Give it time.
'Cause
Gotta
I
give it time.
stand that guy. All right, so let's take some thoughts. What in the world do you think happened between Ahsoka and Sabine? I mean, what went sideways that
I mean,
Ahsoka walks away from her?
Bounce, yeah, she was training her and stopped, but I don't know.
Yeah, I mean, we obviously gather that Ahsoka walked away from her. Sabine says she quit on me. Other comments, Ahsoka makes some remarks about Sabine's stubbornness, which, that's kind of her character. We've already talked about that. Kind of blazes her own trail. But something would have happened. I mean, is it a character flaw in Ahsoka that caused her to walk? I mean,
I don't think it is. I
Yeah.
think it's just two paths, right?
Yeah.
They're both walking different paths because Ahsoka's not in it the whole time, right? She's not there all the time
right.
in the series, right? So I think a lot of it, because they're walking two different paths, their timing was slightly off in really making that connection to being the full Padawan that she is being led or called to, right?
Okay.
Well, it seemed like
So
path was towards finding Ezra, and Ahsoka's went a different direction. I think that might have been the main catalyst of their separation. Was the
right,
whole
Okay.
right,
That makes sense. Yeah.
yeah,
Because-
and in all honesty, I think about it like, so how Ezra walked away from Anakin, right? Because of the way Anakin started turning, like he was like,
Oh, you
yeah,
mean, Ahsoka?
yeah, because
Yeah.
she did walk away there too,
Yeah, that's true.
right?
Well,
Because she didn't,
her
yeah,
being, you know what I mean? Didn't really. I mean, they basically tried her and put her in prison without listening to her side of the story. So
right, exactly.
I might have bounced on those guys too.
He's
Yep.
saying she was justified. That's what I'm hearing.
That's what I've.
All
Yeah,
right, you're hearing it here
I mean, you're
first.
fighting in a war with a bunch of chumps that are just like, oh, this random, this random bit of evidence makes it look like you might be lying. So you're in prison forever.
right.
Here's a hot take for you. You heard
Oh,
it here
here it
first.
is. Coming off the grill.
Going on record.
All right.
Ahsoka's gonna go Sith.
Okay, I'm writing it down. And take Ahsoka go Sith.
I was right about Boba Fett riding that damn beast. I'm throwing it out there right now.
You and Jay were Team Rancor. I agree.
Ahsoka's gonna go Sith at some point real soon here.
Okay.
It's gonna be good.
All right.
Well,
All right. I've marked it down.
and yeah, I think you're onto something, honestly, because
Oh.
yeah, you guys haven't played the game. I'm not gonna.
Oh. Which
Was
this?
it? I was taking a wild guess. I didn't play the game either.
He just wants to mix it up.
Okay.
He's got Obi-Wan
Well,
looking over his shoulder over there, and he wants to
They
mix
gotta find a way to end her story arc. They're not gonna carry this more than a season or two.
Yeah.
She's gonna get got. How's she gonna get whacked? Is she
Well,
gonna
and
go
you know,
down an independent, a Jedi, or a Sith?
Yeah.
It makes sense that she would have to turn evil, and then that's when Sabine's gonna come up and finish it off, and then she'll be the one they carry forward. Just a hot take.
Because we know there's going to be a second season, and then there's going to be a feature film that's going to pull in all, I guess you could say, the Mandoverse stuff. Ahsoka, Book of Boba Fett, Mandalorian, all of it. So yeah, we've got some time for things to play out. But let's think about that timeline though, or think timeline for a moment. Sliding a little into episode 2, Jay. Okay, but episode 2 of the series, wrapped up with, Sabine rejoining Ahsoka. Is that not them just doing a live action version of the end of Rebels, that little prologue thing?
It's funny you mentioned that, Lucas, because the beginning of episode 2 was almost like the very beginning of the Spark of Rebellion, the very first episode of Rebels, except for Ezra standing on that balcony, and it was a Star Destroyer flying over instead of Sabine and Ahsoka's Rebel Jedi ship,
Okay.
X-Wings. It was sort of the exact same scene, only with different players.
Yeah, so there's a lot of stuff that we're seeing, kind of a review of, I guess you could say, that was an animation that's brought live action. So if we understand the end of episode 2 to be that prologue that's at the end of the Rebel series, okay, which then is said to happen after Return of the Jedi. So timeline, okay, and see if you follow me here and make sure and correct me if I'm wrong. Rebels ends with, of course, Ezra and Thrawn taken off by the Purgles, okay? And then that's what, a year until A New Hope, or is that right up to A New Hope? I think that's right up to A New Hope, isn't it?
I think it goes that, then almost right into Rogue One,
Okay.
then right into A New Hope.
Okay, so we'll say a year. And the original trilogy is supposed to be a span of 9 years. So that's 10 years right there. So we're at 10 years. So now we're at the end of, okay, Return of the Jedi's happened. So we were at 10 years. The prologue is after that at some point in the Mandoverse or whatever. So we're looking at, okay, another year or two maybe. So let's say 10 to 12 years after the disappearance of Ezra. We have her and of Sabine and Ahsoka have a reunion. So that means the training and the walk away from training happened sometime during the original trilogy phase. Does that make sense what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So again, we've got out there Ahsoka and Sabine doing something while the real story's playing out. So I don't know. I was scratching my head thinking about it. I was like, man, hopefully we get glimpses of that or flashbacks or something, or this whole other parallel thing that's happening out here. So
Something else I've been wondering is how many Jedi are we up to now that's escaped Order 66?
Right, yeah.
I mean, it's just like, okay, there's 5 more. Okay, cool.
He's our last hope. No, there's another. No, there's actually 20.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
Well,
Could be up to 1,000 though.
yeah, yes. So I don't, I mean,
Well, you got to think though too. How many did Anakin take under his wing, and instead of sacrificing him, right?
Huh?
He showed his show of force by starting to kill them off, putting the fear of God in them, right? Like literally.
Yeah.
And they went full tilt with him, and they made a decree to him to be trained in the Sith way.
Yeah.
To be part of the Inquisitors, right? So there's so many of them. How many were there really?
And I guess we'll say, obviously, we don't know this for sure, but it appears that Balin is different than that. At least with the Maroc guy may not be. That's something I guess that we'll see unfold.
Jedi, but he didn't say he was Sith.
Right, yeah.
I almost wonder if Balin is similar to Brody or Bode in the the Survivor
Okay.
part, except for on the opposite side.
Okay.
Like the poles are switched.